to the right place.
Let's go!
Now your host, Ryan Hensley.
What's going down, everybody? Happy Monday. It's definitely a victorious Monday today. I'm with my guy, Crock. Crock, man, how you doing, bro?
Man, the 49ers are headed to the Super Bowl. So I don't know how you can't be having a great Monday. I woke up, got a workout in with the wife, like a real workout, not the other kind of workout, but like a real, went to the gym with the wife. I'm feeling good, man. Niners are going to the Super Bowl once again. Let's go.
Bro, I was up so late last night. I didn't get my workout in this morning. I'm going to have to do it after. I couldn't sleep last night, man. I was like trying to consume everybody's content, like see everything. What a great night, man. We're going to the Super Bowl, bro. That's wild. Wow.
Are you going to the Super Bowl? A lot of people are going to Vegas.
Shit.
I don't know when people are going to Vegas, so I'm trying to let me kind of scope the scene and kind of see a little bit, but
I ain't dropping no 10 G's a ticket. I ain't doing that, but I'll be watching from the house. That much is for sure. Are you gonna do that?
I don't know. I know my buddy. He has a house in Vegas, so I'm sure he's gonna be out that way. He might be having like a little Super Bowl party. So I don't know though, because the last time I went, I don't know. 2012, I went to a Super Bowl party when the 49ers played the Ravens. 49ers lost, and I'm like, I'm never going to a Super Bowl party again. Last Super Bowl, and actually, I mean, I had just signed with the New York Jets too, so it was like they lost, and it's all right, you going to the Jets. But they lost that game, and then the last Super Bowl against Kansas City, I watched it, just me, my dog Lavelle Hawkins. We sitting in his man cave, and we just watch it, no party, no people, and 49ers still lost. So I don't know, maybe it doesn't matter how I watch it. They just need to play better. 1-point favorites right now, 49ers.
Really?
Yeah.
That's surprising me. We're gonna get into that KC game. Before we get into that, man, I do want to cover this game, but actually one other thing first. Also hit that like button, subscribe me and Eric's channel, turn on your notifications so you know when we go live. But I got to give a shout out to my guy Rolling. His name is Rolling Balls. I don't know if you're here in the chat, bro, but I had a contest, like whoever predicted the score accurately wins a 49ers jersey. He won it. If you're here in the chat, hit me up, DM me on Twitter, whatever, so I can get you that jersey, man. You won. Congratulations. And since the 49ers are going to Super Bowl, I'm going to give another one away if they win the Super Bowl. So stay tuned to the channel for that, man. But yeah, man, what a crazy game, bro. Oh, my alarm going off, brother. I don't know what for. I don't know what that alarm's for, but
what was that alarm? Was that like Daffy Duck?
It's a duck, right? Yeah, that's what it is. I don't know, but shit, man, the 49ers win the legendary game. I've never seen a game like that, bro. Like, just talk me through your initial thoughts going through that whole game, how you felt throughout that.
So one of my biggest issues, and we just discussed on my YouTube channel at 9 o'clock, the 49ers defense was very off balance. And I think a lot of people in that moment, they're thinking like, well, 49ers, they got to get stops. They got to do this. They got to do that. And they're putting a lot on defense. In that moment, I put on the offense, right? Where I'm like, all right, clearly your defense, they need some help. So offense, you have to do something to take the pressure off of the defense so that maybe they can start playing a little bit more free. And things weren't quite working out offensively. You missed a field goal early in the game. You did get a touchdown drive after that, but then you kind of blanked out for the rest of the half. So you're down 24-7 at half. And for me, it was all about you got to get something going offensively out of halftime when you get the ball. So I wasn't one of those people that was just like, oh, it's over. 4 hours are done. It was just, you got to start chipping away. You got playmakers. You got to make plays. You got a quarterback. He got to make plays. Offense, you got to help the defense. And then hopefully from there, things will start going your way.
Bro, I tweeted something out. I think it was like the beginning of the third quarter at halftime. I'm like, I don't know how you come back. If you can't stop the run, I don't see how you come back in this game. But like my man, Nick Nice said right here, why did Dan Campbell, bro? I don't know if that guy slept last night because I feel like we never stopped the run. It's just they went away from it. You agree with that?
So I think, we'll talk about Dan Campbell. Dan Campbell does not call plays. He's a CEO head coach. He's a Mike Tomlin or a John Harbaugh, Jim Harbaugh now for Chargers, right? He's that guy. Now, he can make certain decisions. When they go for it on fourth down, a lot of times, like, that's his decision to, hey, we're going for it on fourth down. But as far as the play calling and things like that, not his thing. Maybe he could suggest certain things. I actually, I've talked about this because Tayshaun Gibson was like, oh, we went into halftime, we made adjustments. Our coordinator Steve Wilkes, he made adjustments, that we start making plays. I don't know what adjustments they made, but I don't think it worked. I think what worked was 49ers just had opportunistic things start to go their way. And that's what you need sometimes when you're down 24-7 and then 24-10. You need things to go your way. Down 24-10, you just kicked the field goal. The Lions went right down the field, ran the ball. They came out, play action pass. They hit Laporta, terrific young rookie tight end. He had big yardage there. They ran the ball. It was 4th and 2. They could have kicked the field goal. They decided to go for it, which, I like their aggressiveness, and it worked against them in this game, but they went for it and didn't get it. They didn't get it. Drop ball. And I don't know if it was, or maybe you could say it was more than scheme. It was Nick Bosa moving a quarterback off of his spot, off of that backside, kind of running the hoop. Quarterback steps up. I think he threw a catchable ball to a guy a little bit obviously behind him, but like, all right, it's 4th down. I'm moving. You just got to make a play. And he dropped it. And then later in the game, another 3rd down drop from Reynolds. So, and then you had the fumble. So I think it was really more so, even with, getting out of their run game and whatnot, I think they still ran the ball, but it was just the 49ers being more opportunistic with some of the mistakes of Detroit Lions.
Yeah, I mean, I realize Dan doesn't call those plays, man. But if I'm the head coach, I'm like, hey, stick with the run, man. We're up 17 points. They can't stop it. Keep running the ball. I'm telling my coordinator that on the sidelines, man. And I don't know. I don't think we stopped the run. I think they stopped running the ball. For whatever reason, it doesn't make sense to me. Damn well, like if Kyle had that lead, Kyle's running he's running like two or three times a set, right?
He is, but I think that's why the Lions are here, because whatever they do, it's not to be this passive, non-aggressive team. There was a time in the Rams game I watched in the first round. I've referenced this. I think I referenced it last week on your show. Like, one of the things that worried me, right, is just Dan Campbell, just his mentality to go win the game as opposed to coach to not lose a game. So when you have that mindset, and that's been you this whole time, you don't change it now. You have the lead. Hell, they had a lead against Tampa, I believe, or excuse me, the Rams. They could have ran 3 straight times, milked the clock down, punted the ball away with 35 seconds left, and nobody would have batted an eye. But instead, on 2nd and 9, when nobody else would do this, they threw the ball, picked up the 1st down, and won the game right there. Like, hey, we're not even going to punt this ball. We're gonna go, and we're going to execute and pick up the yardage needed to end the game. So they've been that aggressive team, even at times where other people might be a little bit more passive. And I think because if that's who they are, it's tough. It's almost like the Warriors, right? The Warriors, they can knock down threes better than anyone. But sometimes, you live by the 3, die by the 3. And I watched them against my Lakers the other night. So the Lakers, we won by 1 point. And people are talking about the free throw discrepancy. Like, oh, look how many free throws the Warriors took in comparison to the Lakers. I'm like, well, the Warriors took 60 3-pointers.
Yeah, I'm a Warriors fan, and I gotta agree with that. Like, you don't get free throws when you don't go to the rack, right?
You go. So I'm not saying that to say like, don't shoot the threes. It's just they didn't go down, or you need a few more to go down, and it didn't happen, and you end up lost. But you don't change the way you play, because in this game it didn't quite work your way. And I would say, if I'm Dan Campbell, I would use that same thought process. I don't think it's overly aggressive like the Chargers coach that just got fired, right? Like, his whole thing is, hey, we can be on our own 30, and it's 3rd and 3 or 4th and 3. The analytics say go for it, and he'll go for it. Like, to me, that's crazy. But I think they were aggressive, but it was very calculated and understandable in those moments, especially when you see how things were working for him. So I think people are going to be really down on Dan Campbell, but I'm not as down on him in this moment from this game. I think the 49ers just were very opportunistic in the second half.
Do you agree with Snapagy? I think that's how you say it. We stopped the run. I don't remember us stopping the run. Yeah, we did. We caused a fumble, and I see his other comment here. But did we stop the run, or did they just stop running the ball? Did we stop the run, bro? Like, seriously?
It was really weird. Again, it was, the way it happened. Because again, okay, we'll just kind of lay it out, and then we'll just talk about when they could have ran the ball and if they didn't in those moments. 49ers get the ball at halftime. They drive down. They get a field goal. Boom. this is an opportunity for the Lions to run the ball. Now, what they did, first play action, they threw the ball, had a big chunk play to Laporta. And to me, that's them continuing to keep the 49ers off balance. Then they ran the ball, picked up yards, ran the ball, picked up yards, threw the ball. Okay, you got fourth and short. They threw the ball on fourth down, did not get it. 49ers go down. That's when they had the crazy Ayuk play off the helmet and stuff like that. They catch it, boom. Then the 49ers score a touchdown. Then the very next play after the kickoff, they run the ball and fumble. And the 49ers go and score again. So now it's 24-24. So I don't even think it was a situation where it's like, oh, we just don't want to run the ball. The way it kind of just played out for them, it was just like kind of limited opportunities a little bit. When they could run the ball, I felt like they did. And then it got to a point where we kind of have to throw the ball. And I thought they threw the ball well. And then they threw the ball again on the 3rd and long, and Reynolds dropped it. Yeah. So, the 49ers were able to capitalize on uncharacteristic mistakes from the Detroit Lions. I think it was more about that than just we don't want to run the ball. You have to kind of really look at the full context of it.
Yeah, I feel like I'm not sleeping well, though, from Dan Campbell. I feel like when you're up that much, though, you got 17 points, brother. Like, man, that's a tough one to swallow.
That was a come from behind win. We talked about it last week. Everybody talking about come from behind. And I'm like, my guy Terradome's in the chat right now. And, we were all going at it. And I'm like, Keyshawn Johnson talked about it. Like, is it a come from behind win when you're down like 4 points, 7 points? I'm like, not really. Like, I get his point. I don't know if that's come from behind. I think that's more just, a one-score game. This game, that was a come from behind win. And I got a lot to say about Brock Purdy and his performance with that. But, that was a come from behind win.
The greatest come from behind win in NFC Championship history, the best one under Kyle Shanahan, at least on the 49ers. I don't know about maybe on the Falcons when he was the offensive coordinator, he had a different one, but that's the best one under him on the 49ers and in NFC Championship history. So without a doubt, that's a comeback win. Keenan Gim says, Crock and Ryan show W Monday. What's up, brother? Thank you for the super chat. James Welsh hits us with the $10 super chat, says, taking a moment to acknowledge we're in the Super Bowl, but no off quarters against KC. We won't come back if we do. Please win. Can't listen to KC fans about 0-2 for the rest of my life. Yeah, man, that game's gonna be good, and I want to get into that, but so much to talk about in this game. You brought up our guy Brock Purdy. I'm not allowed to call him my guy. Like, look at people still bringing up this. Not bad for a dink and dunk limited quarterback. I mean, people still on this stuff. Tough, man. They're never gonna let that one sleep. I'll tell you what, though, Brock Purdy last year was different from Brock Purdy this year. If we're being real, like the man threw under 10 yards 72% of the time last year. This year, it's under 62% of the time. He's going deep. I already admitted I was wrong about the dink and dunk. Give me a break. Let me enjoy my 49ers in the Super Bowl, man. But let's talk about Brock, man. What do you see from Brock last night, bro?
I have a new nickname for Brock Purdy. I'm hoping it takes off. I'm going to continue to say this, but I'm calling Brock Purdy the manager, right? Like they've kind of tried to tag him with, being a game manager, kind of with how he plays the team and all that. And I think that game manager, which isn't bad. I think, Jared Goff's a terrific game manager, right? And for a lot of this game, it looked like, man, he was playing awesome and making all the throws needed. But the one thing he didn't do was make the play that he needed to make. I can go back and be like, well, did he play bad? Like, no, I thought he played very well. He made certain throws. His receivers dropped balls that if they don't drop those balls, you probably lose the game if you're the Niners. But at the end of the day, you got to make a play. And he didn't do that. Like, regardless of the drops or whatever, make a play. Brock Purdy made the plays when they needed to be made. And I'm not just talking about, the throw downfield that Ayuk could bounce off somebody's face mask and Ayuk makes a great play. Terrific by him. But getting out of a sack, spinning out of it, making a sideline throw to Kyle Juszczyk, terrific catch. That was a play made by your quarterback. Plays that he made with his legs, running for first downs, having a big run, chunk yardage. Like, it just looks like, you know what? We're down 24-7. We ain't out of this. And he obviously utilized a lot of his weapons, and I thought they leaned on Debo. We'll talk about that as well. But when it was time to be a guy, be the guy, I felt like this was like the signature moment where it was like, I'm really him. We could talk about the other games where I felt like, he played well. Okay, cool. Okay, I think I know, I know who he is. And he does these things well. But when you have a moment like that, I think that was kind of the signature moment that should have woke up any naysayers around that it won't ever look like the way that some of the other guys do it, but it doesn't matter because he's willing and able to pull his team out of whatever hole. So I think that was
Yeah.
really exciting for me to see. I'm pretty sure it was exciting for him and the confidence that he has. I don't think his confidence in himself ever wavered, but just the way that everybody looks at it, I think it was vindicated from that situation. So great job by the manager, aka Brock Purdy.
You know, everybody loves to compare Brock to Joe Montana, but what I saw last night, and again, I don't like comparing people to the greats, right? But what I saw last night, that was more Steve Young than Joe Montana, and I love Steve Young. He's my favorite quarterback. I've always wanted a quarterback, not a running quarterback, but a quarterback who can run, and that's what Brock Purdy is. He needs to run more, to be real. Like what he did in the Bengals game, running, I love that. What he did last night, I love that, man. What do you think? No?
He's not fast. So like there was a play, and I see someone kind of referencing in the chat a little bit the touch pass to Juwan Jennings.
Yeah.
He threw that touch pass to Jennings and got it out there because when he did, I think he decided like I'm going to take off. And they closed on him so quick. He's like, you know what? Let me try to see if I can. Oh, there you go. Juwan. Okay. And he threw the ball to Juwan Jennings. Great play by Jennings. He has better escapability than someone that can consistently win games with his legs. So I don't think anybody's going to mistake him for a Josh Allen or Lamar or anything like that. But he has a little bit more of that Joe Burrow in him, in the sense of I can use my legs if need be, but I'm likely not. That's not going to be the focal point of how we are going to run our offense. You know what I'm saying?
Which
so even in this game, it was
right.
I have enough of this to be able to make these plays.
Yeah.
But I don't know if I would say, oh, he needs to run more. I think he runs just enough. Like he runs as needed for the opportunities that are there for him to take off.
Yeah, and I think that's what you want, right? Like you want the guy, you want him hitting the open guys if they're there, but when they're not and there's nothing else there, take off. Yeah, maybe he doesn't need to run more, but it's funny, like in that Bengals game, what he run for like 50, 60 yards in that game too. And then he ran for the same, like last night, 48 yards. Like he has that ability when he needs to use it. And I love that, man. Like Brock right last night, man. And here's the thing too. A lot of people, they're still like, people label me a Brock hater, and there's some real legitimate Brock haters out there that still are like, oh, he could have threw 3 interceptions last night. Like to me, man, when you just give your guy an opportunity, the 2 that he threw to Brandon Ayuk, one down the sideline, and then the big one that Brandon Ayuk caught, they actually hit the corner first, and people are like, oh, that could have been an interception. But to me, it's like when you're in these big games and you got one-on-ones with Brandon Ayuk, let your man give him an opportunity to make a play, and he did that. I don't ever mind. If those were intercepted, I wouldn't have been mad because he gave Brandon Ayuk an opportunity to make a play. And that's what you got to do in these situations, especially when you're down. I loved it, man. I loved it. What did you think of that throw to Ayuk, that big one, man?
Let it rip, man. Let it rip. And, just that's the biggest thing, right? When you look at these guys that get these big throws downfield, get the big chunk plays, it's not a high percentage throw. But when you have guys that can make plays for you, you just give them opportunities. I think that was one of my biggest things with Jimmy Garoppolo.
Yeah.
It's like, is it a lack of trust? I would talk to my guy, Greg Pinelli. I'm like, Greg, is it a lack of trust? Like, what is it that limits him from doing it? Now, he would throw it downfield because here's the thing. You start looking at some numbers, you'd see he was like one of the best downfield throwers in the league. But he took the least amount, right? And I'm talking about Jimmy. Right. He was like, his completion percentage on the downfield throws, he was one of the best. But it was all calculated shots based off of how Kyle's kind of dialing up things. And, hey, we're going to, scheme this guy. We're going to attack his quarters leverage and then break back inside. And he should be wide open. Just let it rip, right?
Yeah.
And he'd do those things. But just in the sense of just being more aggressive in general, because that's just who he is, he wasn't doing that. And I think we're seeing from Brock, even though he's still not taking as many downfield shots as some other guys, when he's taking more than Jimmy, and really, hey, go make a play. Like you are an all-pro receiver, and sometimes you need things to go your way. You can get a pass interference call when you're letting it rip a little bit more downfield, or your guy can make a play for you, and worst case scenario, you hope the ball just falls incomplete. And we saw this play bounce off somebody's face mask, and your guy made a hell of a play. And you need that. I don't think that's any different than watching. And I just watched it. That's crazy. They're showing the play right now on Pat McAfee's show.
Mm.
It was a hell of a job. I don't think that was PI at all either. But he just hit the guy in the face mask. And then your guy said, I'm going to go make a play. I thought the 49ers were very opportunistic in this game. But let it rip. Give your playmakers a chance, and then they might do something special like that and make a play for you.
Man, good things happen when you take shots. Like you said, like pass interference, or your guy might make a play. And that's what I wanted to see more from this 49ers offense. That's what I was worried about when I saw Brock last year, because he only took a couple, and that's why I called him dink and dunk. This year, playing out of his mind. He's taking those shots. I took it back, and I love everything about it, man. Hey, sometimes you just need new information to change your opinion, and that's what it's been for me. I love what I seen from Brock. I love him taking them deep shots. Talk to me about Kyle, though, brother. Like, what's your opinion on Kyle last night? How do you think he did in this game as a coach?
I think with Kyle Shanahan, I still kind of think he's the P word, pussy. But and that doesn't have to be a bad thing, right? Like that's just like, the way he approaches things. But he's a terrific coach. And when you talk about coaches, having his guys ready, X's and O's, I feel like they never stop swinging, right? Like they never stop, and he's still kind of, okay, we're going to dial it up. We're going to keep taking swings. And they did that. And I think ultimately it paid off. I think this team is consistently where they're at because of the leader that he is. 3 straight times in the NFC Championship game, his second Super Bowl that he's gone to. He's been to 4 conference championship games. I don't think you win like that if there's, you don't have like the goods to do it. So there are times where I think we'll all gripe on some of his passive aggressive nature that he has, but just in the sense of, is this team going to be ready or going to play hard? Like are X's and O's, is that thing's going to be identifying players and their strengths, identifying coaches and their strengths? I think he does that as high or if not higher than any coach in the league.
Yeah. I was frustrated. It really wasn't. I mean, the offense was a little frustrating yesterday, but it was really Wilkes that was frustrating me in that defense. Are you concerned about this D-line and this defense going into Kansas City? I guess we'll start talking about this Kansas City game, but I mean, they could not stop the run, in my opinion. I didn't see him change, but how do they stop Patrick Mahomes, brother, and this Kansas City team? The 49ers are going to the Super Bowl. They got an opportunity to get some get back against the Chiefs. How do you see it playing out?
First, let's kind of rewind back to this game, right? And when you watch this game, what were the biggest issues? I felt like I touched on it a little bit earlier, but the ability of the Lions to keep the 49ers off balance. I know when I'm out there and I'm calling plays on defense, for high school, but when I'm out there and I'm calling plays, the toughest thing is when you do these things that you do well, and this other team is just doing things that like kind of like, oh, you can't stop this, or okay, you want to do this and I'm gonna do this, and that's tough. And at that time, you're like, I kind of need my guys to make plays. The bigger issue for the 49ers is I think teams that can run, and my guy, everybody hates him, but Peter Bukowski, he's the host of Locked On Packers. So myself, Brian Peacock, we talk to him anytime the 49ers are going to go play Packers. 49 fans hate Peter, but one thing he brought up was 49ers aren't good against the run. And my bad, I got these people doing yard outside, if you can hear that.
Yeah,
but
it's all good.
He was like, 49ers aren't good at the run, defending the run, excuse me. But the one thing that they do well is they get teams out of it because they play, defense or offense so well. Team gets kind of in a position where they have to kind of play catch up. Right. And if you can get the 49ers to have to be honest, they are suspect against the run. He said that prior to the Packers game. I think during the Packers game, it showed when the 49ers weren't able to get that big lead and they were behind. And now it's all of a sudden it's like, okay, they're able to run and kind of do things. You play, keep you more honest. And we definitely saw it against the Lions. So I don't know if it's a Wilkes issue as opposed to a personnel issue. Like, do the 49ers have the guys that are just like, hey, we just have the guys that just stop the run? We know that Nick Bosa, he can make some plays against the run. We know that Armstead, he can make some plays against the run, but a lot of the other guys are not like big body, big guys, so they kind of get moved out of there. And you don't have linebackers that are run penetrating backers. Like, these are slashers. These are guys that if you can keep the backers clean, they're going to slice in there and make plays, tackles, sideline to sideline, tackles for loss. They're going to do all that. Are they these stacked linebackers that are going to be terrific at block shedding? No. And we saw that early in the game against the Lions. They're coming out, they're running up the middle, they're moving guys out the way. Who else is getting moved out the way? Fred Warner. They're like, Fred, boom, get up out of here, Fred. And he's like, yeah, he's like fighting for his life. They just don't have that guy like that's the big linebacker that's going to take on the block and do that. So I think it might be more of what we saw yesterday against the run. Two things. One, again, it kept the 49ers defense honest, kept them on their toes. And I don't know if they have just a true personnel to just stop the run. Now, hopefully, they play against a team like we'll see with Kansas City. Kansas City will run the rock. And I like Pacheco. He runs really hard. Are they a team that's just going to move bodies the way that the Packers, who have a good, run, like they can do it? The Lions, we knew that. That's one of the better offensive lines in the league. We knew they can move bodies. Can the Kansas City Chiefs just move bodies? If they can, then it could definitely be a longer game for the 49ers. If they can't, then I feel like the 49ers kind of get back to what they want to do, which is just kind of play their wide nine, penetrating defense.
Yeah, I think if you look at all three teams, well, the Packers, the Lions, and the Chiefs have the least scary running game to me. I like Pacheco a lot, but it's not like they don't just be like, this is what we're going to run the ball down their throats. That's not necessarily their game. But I do want to ask you brought up Fred Warner. I saw some people saying Fred Warner was awful yesterday. I saw some people saying Fred Warner was the man yesterday. Like people seeing two different things. What did you see from Fred Warner?
I thought there were a couple missed opportunities, but he was very active. I had him on Underdog Fantasy, promo code Crocky, and he had like 7 tackles in the first half. So he was active. He was getting in there. He was flying around. I think there was a few opportunities for him to kind of make a play and then do it. There was a 3rd and 18 play that you guys all might remember. And Fred Warner's dropping back. I see the first guy clear through the like.
Oh. You good? I can't hear you. Say something.
Here we go. You got me?
Yeah, I got you.
I'm moving around too much. See, I can't wait. Once I have my podcast studio, we'll be recording the damn living room. All right, but there was a play where the 3rd and 18, he had one guy kind of clear out and he went behind him. And then there was another play that crossed his face and went right in front of him. Well, you got him spot dropping to an area with his eyes on the quarterback. And this might be what they're taught to do. And I don't know. I don't know exactly what his responsibility is. But I know if my guy, I would tell him, there's no way you can let this defender cross your face without one, either rerouting him, which he was a little too far downfield, so they might have called it illegal contact, or seeing him and start to go with that. And what happens is his eyes are on the quarterback. He's spot dropping. He drops back. Dude crosses right in front of his face. It was St. Brown. He catches it and just runs for a first down on 3rd and 18. Like that was backbreaking for the Niners.
Yeah.
And I looked right at Warner for that because I felt like you have no other threats that can come from that side. One already cleared and went behind you and went deep on like a post. This is the only other guy that can even be any kind of a threat to anything that you're responsible for. So why not be able to, okay, I see him coming. Let me start going with that as I see him coming across. And if he does, he breaks it up and it's never an issue. But instead he ends up like my guy Enai says in the chat, he ends up covering grass. Was he bad? I'd say there were a couple plays that you would like your all-pro linebacker to make, but I don't think it was like any different than he typically is. Just a couple plays he didn't make.
Yeah, and he did what he had, 13 total tackles, 9 solo, 4 assists. So he did lead the team in tackles. What do you think guess who has the second most tackles on the team? Jair Brown, brother. Like Jair Brown, man, he got a start back. I love what I saw from Jair. What do you think of the DBs in general, man? I got to get your DB take always.
I thought this was challenging for them. You have a good quarterback in Jared Goff, and he made certain throws, and he fit throws into windows. There was one kind of late in the game where I'm watching, Diamond Lenore in the slot, and he gets his hands on guy, and then the guy is kind of running out, and the DB coaching me says, hey, drive your man first and then look back and you're in a position to make a play on the ball. But he kind of keeps his eyes and the quarterback throws a perfect pass. And they end up kind of effortlessly picking up a first down. I thought that their receivers posed a challenge for the 49ers. I thought it was more about Reynolds not executing as opposed to the 49ers, just really being able to stop anything that the Lions were doing from a passing standpoint. And I think that was because, again, so much attention to the run game because they're keeping you off balance. So I don't think this was the 49ers' secondary best game by any means. And hopefully they are able to make the Chiefs a little bit more one-dimensional, and then we can see the pass coverage play well like they've done for most of this year.
All right, 2 questions for you. This one, what did Richard Sherman say about you? Was he talking about the you in trouble meme? Did you see that Sherman was talking about you on the podcast?
Yeah. Nah, he just told everybody if they're not following me on Twitter, they should. And when I post a video, everybody knows what time it is. You guys know what video. You know what video.
I'll wait for that. I'll wait for that one, man. So here's a question.
He showed a little love.
Yeah. Can we beat Mahomes, brother? Like, especially these DB. Look, we played. I see Mahomes dice us up, man. Super Bowl, we did okay against him, but last time we played him last year, he's just 8. Bro, it was 8. But we were obviously a lot of guys were injured. But can these DBs handle Mahomes? Can we beat Mahomes? Can the 49ers win this game?
49ers definitely could win the game. It's about how, and it's about playing 4 quarters against Patrick Mahomes. You know, I had one of my buddies, I'm reading it, Twitter, and he's like, oh, look at these quarterbacks. Like, this isn't anything too crazy. And he's talking about, the Chiefs and the Ravens. And that was really a low-scoring game, right? I think it final score 10-17 or something like that. Like, it was a low-scoring game.
Yeah.
And out the gate, it was clear, like, Patrick Mahomes, he's on fire, completed like 10 out of 10 passes, scored multiple touchdowns. And then after that, it kind of slowed down a little bit. And the tough thing with Mahomes is a lot of times he does what's needed to be done. And that's different, right? Like, how many quarterbacks can just flip that switch anytime, any place, and just start doing some just crazy stuff? And we saw, Brock flip that switch a little bit. Mahomes is known to do that anytime he steps on the field. So we watched the 49ers actually have a terrific defensive performance against the Kansas City Chiefs in the Super Bowl 2019. And it wasn't enough because at the end of the day, even though they only had like 10 points or whatever it was, he flipped that switch. So I don't know if it's stopping Mahomes. In that game, you had 2 interceptions. You got stops. You did, I felt like enough to try to win, and you couldn't. I think it comes down to the offense in this situation, just knowing we kind of got to go in here thinking we got to score on every possession. Yeah. And obviously that's not super realistic, but we have seen the 49ers go on runs where they score on a lot of possessions. They did that. The Eagles game, right? From second quarter on, the 49ers scored every time they touched the ball. And I think against a Mahomes-led team whose defense is better this year, you kind of have to have that mindset that we may need to score every time. Like, you can't say, well, the defense, I don't want to hear about Steve Wilkes after this game. You just have to do whatever you got to do to win the game. And I believe it will be your offense that has to win this game, because when the 49ers defense led, you notice the offense kind of let them down in that last Super Bowl. So we talk about Mahomes, but it's really more so about Brock just, all right, we're going, I'm going to carry this squad to hoisting that trophy.
Yeah. I'm the Chiefs defense is better than they've ever been under Patrick Mahomes. So that's the challenge too, right? The 49ers offense is better than it's ever been under Kyle Shanahan. So that part kind of counteracts each other. But Patrick Mahomes, man, he tends to him and Andy Reid, they just take what the defense gives him. That's what I've noticed, right? If the game calls for dinking and dunking, Patrick Mahomes will dink and dunk his way to victory. But the difference with Patrick Mahomes as to like a true dink and dunk quarterback is he can take the top off if he needs to at any moment. If you give him that opportunity, he will do it to you. So this game is intriguing, man. Like I want these 49ers to win this 6th Lombardi so bad. But this, the Chiefs are the Chiefs, brother, defending champs. I'm curious, man. What's your confidence level right now going in this game?
Oh, my confidence is high. I've watched the 49ers play well all year. Real quick, you talked about the dink and dunk thing. I think Mahomes, if you see Mahomes dink and dunking or throwing shorter passes, you could throw Josh Allen there as well. It's because they're forced to do that because teams are playing too high, extremely deep. So like a lot of times, with Mahomes too, teams will play their safeties deeper than normal to try to take away the deep throws. And then we watched in this game, right? How did the Chiefs seal the game? Did you see how this ended the game?
I can't remember. Remind me.
They had 3rd and short. the Ravens, I
Oh
want to
yeah,
say,
yeah,
had
over
one
the
more
top. Yeah,
timeout.
yeah.
And they say, look,
That's
we just got to go zero coverage and we got to
that.
go all out and whatever happens, happens.
Yeah,
And Mahomes completed like a 45, 50-yard pass
yeah,
to Valdez-Scantling. Like if you give him opportunities to throw down the field, he will 100% take shots.
yeah,
But most teams play him in a way to where we're going to limit you being able to throw down the field. I
yeah.
feel like even
You
with the
remember?
49ers, even with Brock has done a terrific job of throwing down the field, but Kyle doesn't have an offense where that's a big staple in the offense. And I think they tried early. I think Matt might have been the first drive. You talked about one of those throws that looked interceptable, but down the left sideline, Brock threw it downfield to Brandon Ayuk. I think that is trying to get the safeties out of there because teams play the 49ers so tight because they don't take a whole lot of shots down the field. So 49ers, more than anybody, should have a lot of opportunities to connect vertically down the field if they wanted to take more shots. That hasn't been a big staple in their offense, but I think they make it a little bit more difficult on themselves having safeties play down cheat. You watch the near interception against the Packers where the ball hit Savage in the chest, right? Probably could have been a pick six. That's because teams aren't respecting the 49ers ability to really or want to throw down the field. So take more shots, Brock. Like we saw him take shots. He took one, then goes away, took another one, boom, converted. Take more shots. Like, and I'm talking about vertically downfield so you can kind of get those safeties out of there.
Yeah, I agree. Did you watch that show Quarterback? You watch that?
Yeah.
Yeah, you saw Patrick Mahomes. You were talking about how teams usually have their safeties back, two safeties back, and that's why Patrick Mahomes, takes the underneath stuff. And then he was talking about when they were playing the Niners game is when they were playing the Niners were the only team to come up on him. And he's like, really? Like, y'all want to give me that? And he took it, and he started eating us up. So, yeah, you're right, man. Mahomes can do everything. So it just depends on what the defense is giving him. And that's what I'm saying. When I watched yesterday, I feel like Mahomes just takes what him and Andy Reid just take what the defense is giving them, and they have success in that regard. How do we stop our boy Kelsey, man? How do we stop Travis Kelsey? Because that seems like right this year you got Pacheco who runs the ball really well, and then you have Mahomes, obviously, who's great. But really their other big threat is Travis Kelsey. I think he got 11 or 12 passes yesterday. How do you stop Kelsey? Because I feel like if you stop Kelsey and you make the rest of the team win the game for you, you might be able to get it done. How do you stop Travis Kelsey, bro, and Taylor Swift?
I don't know if you can stop Taylor Swift. And I have seen other guys, I learned from things that other people do.
Yeah.
Do not mention her in any type of negative way, or the Swifties will
They're
come
coming
for you.
Yeah.
They'll come for you full force.
Yeah.
You'll go viral for all the wrong reasons. As far as Travis Kelsey goes, with stopping him, I think you have to give him more attention, a little bit more bracket coverage. If you have a guy that's capable of being physical with him, do that. I think the tough thing that happens with him, and this was a really big game for him, one of his best games of the year. But what happens with him is he's really good at the scramble plays or off script plays. A lot of his production, I feel like, comes off script. It's Mahomes dropping back. Okay, I don't get the ball in my hands right now. Let me move around. Kelsey's going to be on the same page with me, and boom, let me hit him. And he's great at finding that soft spot. So what's the answer for that? I would say sack the quarterback. Get to the quarterback. Push him off a spot. Make him throw before he wants to. That's probably the best way to defend Travis Kelsey.
And we saw Bosa, man. He got 2 sacks yesterday. Bosa looked like he was – it's weird to me because sometimes I watch players, right? And yesterday I watched Bosa, and he looked like he was going hard as hell, like the hardest he's ever gone in that game yesterday. Like the effort was ridiculous. But when I say stuff like that, it doesn't really make sense. Like, shouldn't that be there all the time? You played at a high level, man. Am I tripping, or do guys turn on and off the effort or turn it up the effort in certain games? And shouldn't they play it the same way all the time?
Well, you would hope that they do, and I think more times than not, Nick Bosa is who he is because he does. But I think you kind of need that same effort from everybody, right? And there are some people that care about greatness a little bit more than others, or understand what's at stake a little bit more than others. Nick Bosa he's been there. He's been to the Super Bowl. He understands it. Most of these guys have had a lot of postseason success. They should understand the type of intensity that they need to bring for an entire game. So I'd expect Bosa and everybody to do that, but you kind of need a little bit more of that from Chase Young.
I was going
Just
to
that
ask you about Chase.
relentlessness.
Yeah.
I think for him, he hasn't been in this position. Like they had zero success in Washington. So understanding the type of relentless nature that you need to play with, the type of what's the word I'm looking for, when you need to do things like right now.
Yeah, the urgency.
The sense of urgency, like understanding the sense of urgency that you need to play with and make plays. I think that's something that he can pick up from Nick Bosa on.
Yeah, man. What do you think? I was frustrated with Chase Young yesterday. I even sent out a tweet. I probably shouldn't have. But I said Chase Young is absolutely awful. I did say that. I apologize, Chase. That's not nice of me, man. But from what I was seeing in the first half, I just didn't see that motor, that sense of urgency that you're talking about that you would want from Chase. And I've seen it in other games. I saw him in the Eagles game. He tried to sack Hurts, missed him, stood up, and just watched the rest of the play. What do you think about Chase Young, man?
I don't think he's done anything to make money in the offseason. Not the kind of money that his ability says he should get paid.
Right.
So that's kind of the best way to sum that up.
Yeah, he's not gonna. He had. That's the thing that's frustrating is he had a real opportunity to earn a big ass contract playing on this team, and it just doesn't seem like he's capitalized completely on that. Do you think he'll be back?
No, and I don't know if he should be back. Like I don't know if he's done anything outside of his name being Chase Young that says, "Oh man, this is a guy like you got to bring Chase Young back." Now, if he goes to the Super Bowl and wreck shop, then it would be like, all right, bring him back and let's talk all offseason about how we can get him to be more consistently that guy. But I don't think he's done anything to where, unless he's coming back for like a low amount of dollars, which, I ain't trying to count Buddy's pockets, but, unless he's talking about something like that, I don't know if the 49ers should really go out of their way to make sure that, we got to sign Chase Young. I haven't seen that yet.
So we're going to the Super Bowl, man. 2 weeks. We got 2 weeks to talk about it, think about it, all that. Are you ready to, like, the coach asked me last night if make my prediction. I've been doing a good job, man. I'm 10-2 in these playoffs with my playoff predictions. But I usually wait till like I have more time till the end before I make that prediction. I don't know if I can get myself to predict against the Niners, so I'm probably going to end up going with the Niners. But how do you see this game playing out, man? Are we going to win the 6? Like, be like, give me your honest thoughts right now. How do you feel about this?
Man, I think people, and I see like, the 49ers choke in this moment and they choke and blah, blah. I can't consider, maybe being up 10 in the fourth quarter, I guess that's a choke job. But for the most part, when it's good on good, I don't think it's choking. I think it's just losing, or that good, the other good team was better than this good team. So, obviously that's the easy way out of saying I can see this going either way. But if you want to talk about why I think the 49ers can win, is because of how well balanced they are consistently on offense. They have some of the most dangerous players in the league at pretty much every position on offense and defense. They got all pros all over the place. They have a terrific head coach who does a great job of running things. And I think they have a defensive coordinator in Wilkes who I know will look at this game and say, man, that was terrible. But more times than not, I think he comes out with a good game plan or makes good adjustments and guys make plays. So I love the 49ers chances. I think they're favored by a point right now, as they should be. Obviously you got the boogeyman on the other side, but
they had a better season. They had a better season than the Chiefs. That's real. It's just, man, Patrick Mahomes, bro. And I don't know, man. That guy's do you think Patrick Mahomes is going to be the GOAT, or do you think he is the GOAT?
Yeah, because I think he just continues to be in this situation. Like, first of all, this is a guy who, what is this, his 6th year starting? 5th year starting?
I think something like that, yeah.
It's his 3rd Super Bowl.
Yeah.
And
4th.
he's been in at least the conference championship every single year. Like, that's you don't see that, and I don't see this slowing down anytime. Now, again, we could talk about his defense and all that, but more than maybe anyone else, like, this team goes as he goes. And the defense is playing well. But I think he's making do with a lot of guys just figuring it out and being as great as he is. So he hasn't had any real consistency out of like Valdez Scantling. Mecole Hardman, they got him back non-factor. I think Rashee Rice has done a really good job of stepping up and being that guy. I'm curious to see what he ends up being. Like, does he end up being this guy that develops into like, all right, he's a 1,300-yard receiver every year?
Yeah.
And I know a lot of people liked him when he was coming out of college, but it's the Mahomes show. So is he the greatest of all time? I think the difference between him and the guys he'll be compared to, because when it's all said and done, he's only going to be compared to Tom Brady.
Yeah.
It's you have more physical ability. So if he ends up doing like kind of the same thing and doing it the way that he does it and putting up the numbers that he's put up, I mean, he's put up amazing numbers from the start. I want to say his first year starting, he threw 50 touchdowns, right? Like, it's a lot of things that we haven't seen. So it'll be hard to say that, especially when it's all said and done, like he's not the greatest of all time.
Yeah, man, I tend to think he is definitely trending that way. I mean, he's from accomplishment standpoint, he's just got a little bit more to go. But man, it's going to be interesting. If the 49ers can beat Patrick Mahomes, man, I'm going to love it, man, especially for that get back. I know we got a lot to go over. I got Twin backstage. I know we got a lot to go over these next 2 weeks, man. We got the Super Bowl to cover, so I know you're going to be streaming quite a bit, I'm sure.
Yeah.
What do you got going on the channel and on your schedule?
Oh man, on my show, I'll be on. I'll probably be on again tomorrow. I'll probably be on again Wednesday, Thursday. We'll see when am I gonna go to Vegas? I'm trying to figure out when everybody else is going to Vegas, and then we'll see. And of course, Locked On 49ers, we're at you, 5 days a week. You guys can follow me on Twitter at Crocky209. And I do want to say one more thing, just to kind of ruffle my guy's Terradome's feathers a little bit before I get out of here. He talked about number one. I saw you start a tweet, but he said Brock Purdy, number one downfield thrower, completion percentage.
Isn't that Lamar? Isn't that Lamar Jackson?
No, I think it's Brock Purdy. You started the tweet or the message. So it's a comment that you start, and it had to do with Purdy completion percentage downfield.
You talking about this one, the
number one QB downfield percentage in the NFL? Brock Purdy, right? 2019. It was Jimmy Garoppolo. So, hey, I'm just trying to ruffle my guys' feathers, but it was Jimmy Garoppolo 2019, and that's why Brock Purdy's a system quarterback. I'm out. Now I'm joking. He's not a system quarterback. I'm being funny. Being funny, guys. Do not attack me or anything like that. I'm just being funny. I like to mess with Terradome.
I saw a stat yesterday. They said Lamar Jackson was the best over 10 yards during the Ravens game. They said that. So I'm not
maybe
sure.
over 10, but I think when you get to downfield completion percentage, I think that's like 20 plus yards.
Okay.
And Garoppolo was by far leading. He was at 59%. The next best guy was Gardner Minshew at 49, Mahomes at 47, Drew Brees at 47, Dak Prescott at 45. So there was only one guy, and he was close to 60%. Garoppolo was by far had the highest completion percentage on downfield throws in the NFL.
Yeah, I think people also need to understand, like, there's a little context to this. Like, you're in the Kyle Shanahan offense, and you're going to be good in that area under Kyle Shanahan, hopefully, because that's kind of how he dials it up. I'm not saying you're going to be taking deep shots constantly, but you're going to be hitting those intermediate shots. So, it doesn't surprise me that Brock's there, and he's done a fantastic job. Crock, man, I appreciate you, bro. Let's get back together next Monday, huh?
Let's do it. Love you, Ryan. Appreciate you. Love everybody in the chat. Love you, Terradome, man. Appreciate you too. And I'll see y'all next week. Peace.
Appreciate you, man. All right, man. That's my man Crock. And then we got our boy Twin. What's up, Twin, man? How you doing, brother?
Man, what's cracking? Congratulations, my guy.
Hey, what I get the congrats for? What's the congrats for, man? For the Niners?
Hey, no, we get to sit back here. We get to talk again about what we did do properly. You know what I'm saying? We can celebrate that. Hey, we got another week to sit here and pod again. And congratulations that we all can sit here, man, and just be happy that we made another successful trip to the Super Bowl, man. So yes, sir.
Yeah.
Congrats.
Yeah, man. How you feeling, brother? How you feeling after that game last night, watching that game?
I feel a sense of relief. That game was high strong. I don't know if you guys noticed it. So, a lot of Bay Area fans are either Lakers fans or the Warrior fans as well. You know what I mean? And so we had a precursor as far as Saturday night with the Lakers versus the Warriors being a very high, stressful game that dang near made me pass out, right? So I was like, good Lord, God, don't do this to me tomorrow with the goddamn 49ers versus the Lions. And guess what he did? He did the same thing, man.
Same thing.
Hey, man, it was one of those weekends where those games were superb. The the atmosphere in both of those games were awesome as well, man. So just big ups to all the fans out there, man. They really went out there and showed out, and you could tell by how the players receive just the fandom, you know, and the love and the adulations that those guys were giving them. That energy was permeating throughout that whole Levi's, man. And so just big ups to everybody, you know what I mean, for just coming through supporting, even if you was at home, yelling at your TV, doing whatever it is that you could do, you know what I mean. Just want to say, man, hey, it was a wonderful weekend, you know.
Yeah, man. I you know, so I took my wife out on a date. We went to an escape room. We went out to dinner. By the way, man, I feel bad about doing this, but I got to be real. Scott's Roundhouse Seafood in Folsom, not worth the money, brother. Not worth the money, man. Not worth the money.
Hey,
but
that where Keith Lee went. Let me quit playing.
Man, the crab smelled too crabby, bro. I had like a filet mignon with they had put crab on it, and that was it was musty. You're not supposed to smell your seafood that strong. If you smell it, that means it's not fresh. And then my wife, she's, you know, she likes her steak extra cooked, you know, and they brought it out like raw, and then she said she sent it back again, and it still came back raw. But I had a nice waiter. I'll tell you, I'll give it that much. But anyways, that's enough about me. So my point was, I missed that Lakers Warriors game, and I'm kind of grateful because of how it turned out. Because you know, because the good guys lost. The Warriors are the good guys, Lakers are the bad guys. But in this game last night, the good guys won, which is the 49ers over the Lions. So give me your take on that game, man.
Oh, man, that game was interesting, mainly because it's another first half where we start off slow. You don't want this to be the theme, but it has been the theme over the last couple of games, you know. And so, I mean, anybody who was kind of scared or nervous, it's okay. Like, sometimes people be like, oh, my God, how can you be nervous? It's like, dude, we love this sport. We know this team. We know how hard these guys has played. We know how much they want to win. You know what I mean? So, like, for them to come out there, you know, last week we said it was because they had the 2-week layoff. And then this week they came out there. You like, oh, my goodness, man. Like, what's going on? Like, you know what I mean? So to see what happened when they started that game and then to see them progress and get better and better, it was a beautiful sight to see, man. It was like life, you know. In life, you have these peaks, you have these valleys, and then eventually you have you have another peak again. You know what I mean? So it took us for a roller coaster ride. It took everybody sticking together, having faith, having belief in one another, man, to be able to come back and say, hey, we can still win this game. And so it was just a beautiful sight to see that not only did you go through adversity, but you use that adversity to take you to another level as a team, first and foremost, and then your performance mirrored what it is that y'all did, you know, as far as the internal coming, external, and then them boys succeeding out there on the field. So, man, just hats off to everybody, coaching staff, water boy, you know what I mean? Anybody that had the opportunity to help those boys out, just get better, the training staff, man, hey, y'all did a beautiful performance, man. So shout out to everybody.
Yeah, it was a tale of two halves yesterday is what it was, man. If that game would have ended on the same trajectory as that first half was going, I was about to be a straight a-hole this morning on this live stream because I was heated. Yeah. But to see him come back, man, I left all that in the past because that was the best 49ers game I remember ever watching. Like, I've never seen a better game. Do you remember a better game than that? I mean, maybe when I was in the 90s or something, but I can't really remember. Although I say that the Falcons, the Atlanta, we came back on the Falcons in the NFC Championship game, I believe, right?
Yeah, it was a while back, but I think just how we follow the team now, like with the extra news and the ability to go a little more in depth with our coverage and what the information that's given to us. I think that is probably by far the most excitement that we've seen, especially again, like you said, the stakes of the game, far as having to win, having to be, come from behind, knowing the numbers and so on and so forth, man. And just to see these guys flip that thing around, man, the excitement was through the roof. I mean, good Lord, man. Listen, that's one for the ages, man. I think we really got to appreciate, the win and enjoy, rejoicing this for the next, at least to Tuesday, you know what I'm saying? Because the crap is hard. It's difficult. You know what I mean?
Yeah. To win at this level, either way, man. Let me get these super chats real quick. I forgot. Sorry, buddy. For Life Niner says, Peter, Schrager, Kansas City 34,
Yes,
49ers
sir.
28. That's his prediction, huh? Peter Schrager. Yeah. All right.
I
Someone
see
pulling
that.
up. Dave Barclay says, Twin, what up, guys? Just mix Eric for Super. Yeah, Eric just left. But you can go back and watch it when the show's over if you don't mind, sir. I3 says, quit using the open book, Ryan, and make the prediction. So last night I was on with Coach, and he wanted me to make a prediction, and I said, I'm not ready yet. Not ready
Not yet, baby.
Yeah, I need time. I need to let soak it in. Probably I told him not this Wednesday, but next Wednesday. That's the thing is we got 2 weeks to talk about this Super Bowl that's coming up, man. How are you feeling right now? Actually, before we go there, who's your player of the game last night?
God, it's
tough.
tricky. I want to say I want to say Juwan Jennings again, and I know just that catch he had, man, when Purdy was about to make that scramble. He's not the most athletic guy as far as Juwan Jennings, but just the ability to go out there. We needed that. And to reach up there and catch that ball, man. Was that before the Brandon Ayuk catch? I'm not sure.
Yeah, it was. It was.
I think it was before. But
Yeah.
that catch right there, man, it really, I think it was on the fourth down conversion too. And to go out there and make that, man, I think that really turned the tide, and especially with the energy that Juwan Jennings played with. So we may saw the catch, but you're not hearing what he's saying to Debo, to Brock, to Trent Williams after he made that catch to be like, hey, he backing out, you know what I mean? And so, like, I just want to say there was a turn of the tide right there. And man, that I like to say Juwan. I know the obvious, we can say Brock, you know what I mean? Brock played wonderful in the second half. He definitely turned things around. But I do like to give props to the small little details, you know what I mean, that help us to be successful. So, man, that game was, there's a lot of individuals who can become the MVP of that game, man.
Yeah, I want to, read it off. So Brock Purdy yesterday in the game, excuse me, 20 of 31, 267 yards, 1 touchdown, 1 interception, 51 yards rushing, 318 total yards. In the second half, though, he was 13 for 16, 174 yards, a touchdown, 132 rating, 3 scrambles for 52 yards, all first downs. Second half, Brock was ridiculous. Yeah, I mean, CMC was fantastic. I mean, there were some big plays from a lot of players in order to bring this game back. Brandon Ayuk was humongous. But I think if I had to pick one, I got to go Brock Purdy, man. That was just bro balled out, man. I was telling everyone likes to compare him like to Joe Montana, which I think is premature still, right? But if I'm going to compare him to one 49ers legend in last night's game, it was Steve Young, the way he was moving.
Yeah,
talk to me about what you saw from Purdy, man.
So I mentioned this in the Kansas City versus the Ravens game. I tweeted it out when Patrick Mahomes made some moves with his legs to get a couple first downs. And I tweeted, hey, Brock, you're going to have to get on that horse and boogie when you need to, man, because at the end of the day, there was a specific interview I believe Steve Young did with Murphy and Mack in the morning over there on 95.7 The Game or KNBR or something like that. And he said this time in this Super Bowl era, there's yards out there for the taking as a quarterback because how spread out these defenses, these offenses make you do it. And he was like, you got to run when the opportunities are there for you because they're easy yards so you can keep the chains moving. Now, Brock necessarily didn't have to do that a lot this year because most of the time we was up, so you didn't necessarily need to run. But for him to go out there, man, and make those big runs in crucial moments, that's what we needed. We needed the chains to continue to move. We needed just good, healthy plays. And his runs were the same thing how back in the day, Tom Brady would dump the ball off to the split backs coming out of the backfield just to get a couple good yards because he wasn't athletic enough to run the ball. That is this version in this modern time NFL. This is how we do that now as far as the quarterbacks. And so Brock being able to do that during crucial times, man, really changed the game, man. In the second half, it really just gave the energy to everybody, man. I think these people was humming, man. So, man,
Yeah.
it's just a beautiful thing,
Yeah. How was your emotions throughout that game, man? How was you feeling? Roller coaster or what?
Man, listen, I ain't gonna lie to you. So I'm gonna be honest with you. I was watching the game, I was doing live, and first half, I was live play by play. And then I got to the point where, like, you know what? I'm done. I like, listen, when halftime came, I said, hey guys, I ain't coming back on. I need to, you know what I'm saying? Like, cause I can get a little crazy. So I said, I'll holler at y'all later. You know what I mean? I shut the live off. And I really like, all right, man, listen here. We were able to make some plays, some headway. And it's like, it's only down 17. I know we get the ball back. We just need to take it one play at a time. And so after I turned the doggone thing off, I went took a good shot. I sat back down, man, and you know, my emotions was like, all right, it kept us on the doggone roller coaster ride this whole year, so it's only fitting that they continue to do so, and the rest was history, man.
How important is it that the 49ers have made, right? Like the thing has always been the 49ers can't come back, or Brock Purdy can't come back, or Kyle Shanahan can't come back. And I mean, they really haven't, to be real, until the last two games. They came back last week, and then obviously the biggest comeback of all time in the NFC Championship game last night, man. How important is it that we got that comeback under the belt now?
Man, I think it's for real. And for people who like say, oh my God, like he could come back. Y'all said y'all was worried that we couldn't come back and stuff like that. We gotta be honest with our fandom, man. We know that coming back is something that is needed in the National Football League. In every sport, we had some of the most. We seen rallies in baseball. We seen the comeback. I'm a Warriors fan, but we saw the comeback from the Cleveland Cavaliers. Like, we see comebacks often. You seen the one from Tom Brady. Like, these things are needed to beat the best. And so to sit here and say, okay, I'm just gonna have blind faith. Okay, that's cool. Some people do. But at the same time, if you watch enough sports, you understand that that's a needed component for a team to be successful and to get over the hump. And so for us to have back-to-back games where even Kyle, this is where my thing and my issue for a lot of people in the chat and stuff like that. When the quarterback and when the coach himself said, I haven't seen my team do it, I haven't done it myself, and then y'all be on here trying to get at people and trying to make like, how dare you not have faith? I just seen the coach say the same thing. I just seen Brock say the same thing. I just seen Trent Williams say the same thing. Y'all ain't retweeting them. Y'all ain't saying y'all didn't believe. Y'all ain't saying they didn't have no faith in them and they playing. It's because as an athlete, you know, sometimes until you do it, you still got to say, man, I don't know. I hadn't done it yet. You question yourself. So for them to go out there and do it back-to-back games, they're building upon a new building block that they didn't necessarily have in their toolbox, man. So I just had to cook that out there for a lot of folks who be out here trying to act as if the players in the locker room didn't think it was something to do.
Yeah, I mean, it was, and I think it feels good. Even the players said that it's nice to have a comeback one under the belt because they needed to see it done. Yeah, so yeah, good point, brother. Peter Schrager says Peter Schrager is 5-0 with his prediction for Life. Niner says, I don't know, man. I'm not a big national sports watcher. I don't really watch it, man, to be honest with you. So I'm not sure. But if he is,
don't watch Good Morning America. Watch Ryan G Hensley. Watch the Crock Show. Watch Jesse Naylor. Watch, you know what I'm saying? The coach. That's the new move, man. You know what I'm saying? Like we leave 3 for a little network alone.
I stopped watching a couple years ago, man. Like and I've just been consuming content from the local guys who we're more tapped in. Be real, like we follow the Niners. Like, you know, these guys are trying to follow 32 teams. There's no way you can have as much knowledge as somebody that's specifically in on the Niners. And then Dave Barclay said wasn't as big, but Niners Saints in 19. Yeah. And then they beat the Falcons. I think was it the same year they came back and beat the Falcons? I'm pretty sure that's the case. And then 4Live Niner says, Ryan, I need some information on buying a house bad credit. Go in the description, brother. Hit the by the way, Rolling Balls is his name on YouTube. I said in the beginning of the stream, but he nailed the prediction. He won the 49ers jersey. He predicted 34-31 Niners. So congrats to you. If you guys go to the details in the description, you can find Rolling Balls. There's my email. You can hit me on my email, and I'll get that jersey out to you. And then for 4Life Niner, if you need information on buying a house or fixing your credit, I got a link in there for Blue Water Credit, who is a sponsor of mine, the best credit repair company I've ever dealt with. And I've been sending all my clients there for the last decade. That information is there. Fill out that form. Let them know Ryan G Hensley sent you. Or if you want to schedule an appointment with me, there's a link in the description where you can schedule an appointment with me, and I'll give you 20-30 minutes on my time, and we'll discuss it all, man. But thanks for the question. My guy Dave Barclay says, both y'all more excited or nervous for the Super Bowl? What you feeling, Trent or Twin?
Trent, yes, sir.
Trent.
I'm excited. You know what I mean? I don't get nervous until like the game, like butterflies, till like maybe 72 hours out. But I'm excited because I know we're going to go through a lot of these things with a fine-tooth comb. And I know people are going to like some things and then they're not going to like some things. But you know, in order for you to win the ring, you know what I mean? It's all it's the details, it's the small things that sometimes we say, oh, don't worry about it, we won. That's what makes you a Super Bowl winner or somebody who goes home without the victory. It's diamonds in the details, you know what I mean? And so I believe this is a point in time where I'm excited for the Niners to grow another level. They have more data that they can go back on and look at and say, okay, we did this in wins, we did this in losses, and also these are the plays that help us and propelled us to get some momentum. You know what I mean? Or this player in this position, I didn't know he could do this, but he did this now. You know, or this guy got hurt, he had to come in and play an extra 4 or 5 snaps, and he did a wonderful job at it. You know, so like it's stuff like that that I'm excited to see how these things will be moving around, and also for a lot of the family and friends, man, I'm excited for all of them because not everybody been to the Super Bowl before. So I'm excited for the Trent Williams. I'm excited for, you know, these players who just got here, man. And like, hey, man, it's a wonderful time, man, because we know how hard it is to get here, man. So just big ups to everybody. I hope we all are excited, you know.
I'm both. Bart, Dave, man. I'm excited that we're in the Super Bowl. I'm glad that we get to watch that again, but I'm nervous because, you know, when I was growing up a Niner fan, 49ers are 5-0 in Super Bowls. Then I had kids, and my kids, I've seen the 49ers be 0-2 in Super Bowls. I would really love to see them watch the 49ers win a Super Bowl. So I'm nervous because I don't want them to see the Niners go 0-3 in Super Bowls. That will be their experience with the Niners in Super Bowls. That can't happen. I'm really hopeful these 49ers pull it off. My kids are able to watch it. You know, I want them to watch at least one Super Bowl victory at some point. And so I'm both, to be honest with you, Dave. And then Dave also says Brock's legs saved us. Did not realize he's mobile. Man, he was. Y'all remember the Bengals game though? Like I know who said that. Somebody last night. What's the reporter for in NBC Sports? The lady Jennifer Lee Chan.
Yeah,
Jennifer Lee Chan. She was like, she said something like, I didn't realize you were that mobile. Like a lot of people aren't realizing it, but like he did the same thing against the Bengals. You guys, like
yeah. So people don't like this is the thing about Brock that where me, you, or somebody else saying the intangibles were reined in by Kyle Shanahan, meaning we heard this offseason, Brock said, I can't take off and run like I did last year. Kyle didn't like that. A lot of the stuff that I did, Kyle was kind of like, hey, that's not my thing. You know what I'm saying? I want you to go through your progressions and run my play. There was a point in the game yesterday where I tell people this is why I whether it was Trey or whether even with Brock, you got to have a player that can go beyond and above the playbook. I don't care who you are. If you don't allow that player to go above the playbook, you're going to be in trouble during this time. It's like, hey, at the end of the game, I need a person to go one-on-one and get a bucket. You know what I'm saying? I need your ISO out, get a bucket. Kyle had to relax and let Brock go be Brock, meaning use your legs. You know what I'm saying? Throughout the whole season, he tried to make sure he did everything like coach wanted him to do. But during the time that we need him the most, he did things outside of the coaching. And so that means players over what playbook. And that's what I love to see. And that's where Kyle has, I think that's where he grew a little bit in the last couple of games.
What's the key for the 49ers to win this Super Bowl, brother? What's the key?
I am cold, so it's not that I don't look cold. I am cold.
Johnson.
But, I'm chilling.
Yeah, he got that beard to keep him warm, man. The beard keeping him warm.
Exactly. You know what I'm saying? I try to keep it the same aesthetics. The number one thing, turnovers, man. Turnovers and penalties. We saw that even though the Ravens on paper like the better teams, penalties killed them early on. Yeah. And Travis Kelce used a mind game to kind of trick those guys and say, hey, he baited them into what? Penalties. Even Mahomes, his late slides and stuff like that, personal fouls. they kept the chains moving. So if we don't turn the ball over, and we keep penalties at a minimum, and then we got, hey Kyle, man, go be great. Whatever it is that you thought about the last time you met this team, and when you went home and you said, I wish I would have done this, go look at that film and bring that out. Say, you know what, this time I'm not gonna miss. This time I know I've grown and I have the trust of my quarterback, but then also I got a guy by the name of CMC that I didn't have during that time. And let's go out here and cook,
Yeah, Chiefs defense is better than it has ever been under Patrick Mahomes, but the 49ers offense is better than it's ever been under Kyle Shanahan. It's going to be a great game, man. I'm looking forward to it. I am nervous. I hope the 49ers win. I think for me, the key is stopping Travis Kelce. If you can take Kelce out of it and make the rest of the team beat you, I think you're on to something. I mean, you watch that Ravens game, I think he had 11 or 12 targets and receptions that he was just eating. And, Andy Reid does a great job, and Patrick Mahomes does a great job of just taking what the defense gives you. If you give them the deep ball, they'll take the deep ball. If you give them underneath, they'll take underneath. So it's going to be a challenge for the 49ers. I'm hopeful that they're going to pull it off, man, because it's time to get number 6. Twin, man, I got – hold on. Go ahead.
Fast. What Ryan Mack said, that too, the battle of the trenches, man. Usually in this type of game, whoever wins – the battle of the trenches, whether it's offensive or defensive line, usually wins the game. You know what I mean? So, hey, man, I can't wait, man. It's going to be exciting,
Yeah, man. Looking forward to it. I'm looking forward to talking about it over the next couple of weeks. Twin's going to be back on with me, and Twin and Crock will be back on next Monday. I'm going to be on Grant's show at 11 a.m. in about 45 minutes, so I got to get off and get ready for that. Twin, what do you got going on your channel, brother?
Hey, man, I'm going to go back over, probably get a couple more plays, man, and just talk about it tonight. I was a little bit, everybody got a little intoxicated last night. Not everybody, but I know I did.
Right.
But just to go back and look over the game some more, man, and just talk about one of the greatest comebacks in our franchise history, man. And so, I'll probably be on around about 8 o'clock, man. Y'all can find me at Twin Empire _ man, on YouTube. Make sure you follow the channel, man. Like, subscribe to the channel, and same thing on the X app, aka Twitter. Go follow me there as well, man. And hey, again, man, big ups to everybody in the chat, all the Niner faithful out here that have been showing up and showing out from the beginning of the season, man. Hey, we got a couple more weeks to go, man. So let's keep that same energy. Let's continue to root our guys on, man, because hey, man, we made it to the dance, and let's make sure we take it home.
Yes, sir. I'm going to run some commercials while I'm out of here. If you guys are interested, I'm going to be talking about Blue Water Credit, Hensley Real Estate, Underdog. If not, check me out with Grant at 11 a.m., just in about 45 minutes or so. And then I'll be back on tomorrow at 9 a.m. with Jesse Naylor. Man, I'm excited, brother. Lots to talk about.
Hey, shout out to everybody in Detroit too, man. That's my second home. Shout out to 313. Hey, I love y'all. Y'all fans are respectful, but hey, man, we had to send you home, man. So take them Cartier jackets and the puffers, you know what I'm saying?
I missed some.
Back into college.
Let me rewind. Back up. My guy, give me another super chat. We got 2 of them. Sorry, guys. Have we shown in these last couple of games in the playoffs to be down against KC? We need to go hard from the start to finish. I'm imagining that's what that shows. I agree, man, and I appreciate all the love in the super chats. Thank you very much. Yeah, you're right, man. We don't want to get down against Kansas City. That's for sure. And then Barclay says, "Truth, Ryan. We were 100% in Super Bowl in my life before." Yeah, man. I'm not used to the Niners losing. Didn't happen until 2012. So we got to get back on track, man, and win this one for sure. You guys are the best, man. Stick around. I'm gonna run some promotional stuff if you want to.
Sir.
Do me a favor though, if you're not subscribed to the channel, please subscribe, man. I got a lot of great content coming your way. Got a lot of great guests coming your way over the next 2 weeks. We're gonna be covering this Super Bowl all off season. If you're not subscribed yet, you really should be. I appreciate you guys very much, and I will see y'all soon. Thank you, Twin.
Hey, y'all check out that Mike Singletary interview too as well, man. Just for like history purposes, man. Check my guy out, Ryan G Hensley, aka The Plug, is in the building, baby. He finna light everything up in these doggone YouTube airways, baby. Let's get it on.
Yeah, baby. We're just getting started, man. Appreciate you, Twin.
Yes, sir.
What's up, folks? Want to take a second to shout out Underdog Fantasy, who is a sponsor of the channel. If you visit the description, there's a link in the details that'll take you to Underdog Fantasy. Click that link. use promo code Hensley and they will match up to $100 of your initial deposit. You can bet on anything from football to basketball, baseball, tennis, you name it, it's in there. Use promo code Hensley. They'll match up to $100 of your initial deposit. It helps you out and it helps me out. Most of you guys know I've been a mortgage lender and real estate broker for a long time, and I always deal with credit. And I get a lot of clients that need help with their credit, and I always send them to Blue Water Credit. Blue Water Credit is a sponsor of the show. They are the best credit repair company I've ever used, and I've been using them for a long time. In the description, there are details. Click that link, fill out the form, let them know Ryan G Hensley sent you. They will run your credit for free, give you a free credit evaluation. They'll let you know what they can do for you, how much it costs, how long it's going to take, and they will take care of you the right way. This is a really good credit repair company. Credit is so important in this country. Make sure you handle your business. Reach out to Blue Water Credit. Hey guys, so most of you guys know that I'm a real estate and mortgage broker in the state of California by now. At least I hope you do. I've been doing this since 2009. I've helped a ton of families. I love what I do. When I'm not talking 49ers on YouTube, I am helping people buy, sell real estate. I'm helping them get financed, refinance. That's what I do. I've been doing it since 2009. I would love to help you and your family. Please reach out. There's a link in the description where you can schedule a 30-minute appointment with me, and we could talk on the phone and figure it out and get you guys the house of your dreams.